Yeah, hi folks. I'm just waiting for 9:30 to, and then I'll start. I hope the sound you're able to hear me properly. Okay, thank you. Okay. I think I should start. It's already 9:30 now. So, okay. So let me put across the agenda for today. Let me see if I'm not on mute. Yeah, I'm not on mute. Okay. So what we'll go through is we'll do a active recall. I mean, it's for you guys. You call it active recall plus Feynman technique to understand, to recall everything, whatever we did on in first session, right? So this is very, very important. Why I'm saying this, if just watching it will not make anything, any change. You have to revise, right, and create mind maps. Okay. So you have to revise, create mind maps, and try things out. Like I gave few tasks on in last session. I'm not going to ask you and show it to me and that kind of stuff as of now, but that's what you should do. And if anyone wants me to, go through that, that's fine. That I can do. But take that step and do this. Okay. So this is for you guys, and consider it like it's like it's more of a like a your work, like whatever you do you will reap the you will reap the fruits, right? So that's how I wanted to start this now. uh so we saw what we saw, you know okay, let me come back come back to this. Okay, so I'll start with the slide 11. We'll go to metrics and KPIs, and this is something I have planned, but let's see. I'm doing something parallelly that I wanted to show it to you, so I'll do this. We'll share the feedback form at the end, and then summarize the whole session, and then Q&A, right? And this is another thing that I wanted to discuss, but let's get started. I hope it is okay to get started, right? Any thumbs up, anything would work. Uh, Help me a lot. If it is okay till now. Guys, I need attention actually. Okay, okay. Thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Priyanka. Thanks, Rahul. Okay. So let me put it in this way. Like we spoke on the last session, we said that we'll go through Netflix recommendation, but before that, I want you to understand and analyze few things, right? So how many of you know, you know, this thing? Have you heard about any the recommendation basket analysis? These things. Have you heard of it? Anyone? Anyone can talk about this. Any? If not, just tell me. I'll just put it in chat. If if you know, it's fine. Otherwise, that's okay. Okay. So let's go back. I think it's very new to all of you, so not a problem. Let's go back to almost 1990s, okay, in that era. Okay. So what happened here is few of the folks who were into data, what they wanted to understand, maybe they were chilling out or they got very bored of their work and they started doing something. So what they started is they started digging up the data. Okay. They wanted to understand how uh, our customers look like. Okay. What they order. Sorry for the handwriting, but just focus on here. Okay. So what they order, how much they order. Okay. And the very and most important part is when do they order? Okay. Now, when you understand this, so they wanted to figure out what's exactly happening, right? Normal, typical data analyst work or data scientist work, right? So what they found, and this is very fascinating, they found that there is a beautiful story about this as well, which was like this, right? Which goes like this. So they had 20 findings in the data. Okay. The most astonishing ones were, you know, let's say there are this thing on Friday, okay, when a father, okay, when a father who has, this is the character, main character, who has a child, right? And his wife asks him to bring, diaper for their kid. Okay. So what happens? So he goes to the supermarket because in US supermarket concept is more prominent that era. So what he did, so he reaches there and he picks up the diaper. Okay. And father being father, he and on that too on Fridays, what he does is he picks up a diaper packet. He also picks up a can or you know uh, what do you call it? Let's call a beer. Okay. He also picks up beer. Okay. So this was their hypothesis. When they ran down, what happened, what they found out is this is very, very true for almost all the, uh, uh, on all Fridays, almost, I'm just quoting it. It's not quoted yet, but let's say only 80% of the father who went to purchase diaper ended up buying beer as well, right? So, and so on and so forth. They started and they did 20 insights, okay, by using which they were able to uplift the sales, okay, better say shelf, you understand shelf, right? In DMart and stuff, we see the inventory, the products are listed on shelf. Okay. So better shelf positioning. Okay. Then better customer offering, right? More discount, more personalized discounts and like that. Better customer, okay, segmentation. And the list goes on. You can think of it like that. Okay. And they named it as this reaches to retail. Okay. Retail. So let me tell you this, retail and FMCG, these guys are very much very much, um, you know, they are very open to new technologies. So they heard this and they tried implementing it. Okay. So folks like Target, right? Walmart, they started implementing it and they termed it as market basket and analysis. Okay, what it is? Market basket analysis, which which people later, by adding few few tadka and masala into it, and they started calling it as recommendation. This is very high level in a story format way. Okay, recommendation engine. This is a bit different. This is a bit different, but at a high level, understand at large, these are almost similar. Okay, so far so good. Any thumbs up, any chat messages, anything if you can give, if you're able to understand the part. Okay. So they called termed it as market basket analysis, and then one second. Okay, I see some question or maybe some chat. Okay, yes. Okay, right. So they started calling it as recommendation engine. Now what happens? Now it simply means market basket analysis or recommendation engine simply means, for example, if I buy, let's say, bread, okay, there is highly likelihood of me buying, okay, egg, milk, right? These kind of products. So that's why you see that in on, and it happens both the sides meaning offline as well as online. Okay. Online is pretty much visible in Swiggy, Instamart, right? Um, Zepto and these stuff. So, I mean, Myntra, these quick commerce, what they do is uh, frequently bought together, or if somebody ordered Nike pair shoes, right, then they will also recommend them to buy some kind of socks, right, and say that these socks go up very well, right? So that's how they do it. In offline, can anybody unmute yourself and tell me how it is done in offline? Any thoughts? I just wanted to see like any are we thinking in that terms?
I could say some offline stores, brick and mortar stores, they do some combo offers. They bundle two different products as one single offering, or
Right. So that is one way of doing it, right? Like bundling the project products, right? Have you ever seen this also? I mean, very good, Yogesh. But have you ever seen like, bread and egg is placed side by side, right? You might have seen this. That bread and
Yes.
egg is, yeah. Any other example that you observe? And this is very fascinating. We see that, we say that, it's retail only, what they can do. But when you start analyzing, right, you will be fascinated how they do it. So any other example that you see?
Like near the cash counter, they keep all the small purchasing item like hairbrush or like some candy, which easily they can pick.
Right. That's a very, very, very good observation. That's very nice. Anybody else that can go? Okay. So what happens is, I mean, both the points very, very nice, right? What also they do is they will not they will place, let's say, bread here. Okay. And what they will do, they will place at the end. Okay. Any logic like egg at the end. Let's say bread at the starting point and egg at the end. I'm just giving an example how they manipulate you to buy, maximize their profit, right? Or bring out more from your pocket, right? So, any logic for this? And I'll move to Netflix.
yeah, they basically are making you to walk through the store so that you can scan and browse and end up buying something that you never intended to buy in the first place.
Yes. So that is one, one of the example. They want to skim as much as possible, right? So all these inventory positioning, this product positioning is not done just like that. It is all thoughtful data working for those companies. Okay. Now, in a similar fashion, when you look at this slide, okay. Now, just see this. Here, whatever you watch, right? Whatever you watch, and they collect data on that. Now, let's say you are there. anybody who is in product and or has done or understanding of it, what every click is getting captured, right? So whenever you rewind something, whenever you pause something, it's all getting captured. So what is likelihood of rewinding something, right? It will show that whether if one, maybe I'm interested in rewatching it from that, maybe some dialogue or something was very interesting. So they will add to your rewatch history. And then that's how they do it. The more engagement, the type of content, the type of, your, uh, what do you say, relationship with Netflix has, the better they will be able to, uh, you know, uh, prescribe or maybe say, show it to you that these are the content that you can watch. Now there is few things that Netflix does. Does not only do, this kind of thing. They use other techniques also, like content filtering and collaborative filtering. Okay. So collaborative filtering, you might have seen, in Netflix, it says that, okay, uh, this week, like, most of the people watch this top 10%, uh, like top 100% or something is there. I might not getting it that correctly, but they tag that particular content, uh, some, markup, like some filter. So what happens is, based on the inputs given by, let's say, 100 of folks are watching, let's say, Durandar 2 or 1, right? And they liked it. So that will come as a collaborative filter and it will be shown as top, right? And it will be shown to almost everybody because majority of the folks has, liked it and put it as a rewatch or something like that, and then it comes to collaborative filter. So all the folks, they observe the data, like what all users are doing, and then they tag that those particular genre of movies or shows, that most likely, and then they show up to you, right? Then the other thing is content filtering, which we generally does do, right? Like that, shows, then Korean and these things. So it's like similarly, like, the type of content you watch on, in Instagram, it will show those kind of content only. So that's how, at large, at a high level, at 30,000 feet level, this is what they do. But as promised, we will walk through, we'll take the Netflix case, right, in later, because it needs ML understanding as well. That's why I'm not doing as of now. As promised, we'll go through Netflix and dissect it from product perspective and, architecture perspective as well. But this will be a separate session altogether and it will be done on Saturdays only. It will require some time. Okay. So that is there. Now, since this is done, any questions so far?
Um, Akash, I have a question. Not more of a question, but a curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So all these recommendation engine examples that you said are using positive uh, actions, right? Watching a
Right.
movie or
Right.
finishing a movie or adding it to watch list and things like that. Do they also, I mean, out of curiosity, do they also look into the patterns where I start a movie but I don't finish it and I keep it unwatched for a long time? So can it also understand the negative signals and stop recommending some shows that are similar to the ones that I stopped watching midway?
Yes, yes, definitely. So let's say, for example, uh, classic example is, in social media, right? Just understand through that. Let's understand through that only, right? In
Yeah,
social media, we say that, do you like, there will be a cross on that post. When you click three dots, it says, do not recommend. I do not want to do this. So that's a very direct way of asking. But in Netflix, what it does is there is also dislike button, right? The dislike and dislike both is there.
correct.
Correct. And there is they see, if there is a positive experience, there will be a negative experience. If I have disliked something, which means I do not want to show up. So similar to that genres, right? It won't show.
Correct, correct. But what I mean by asking is this: clicking the dislike button is a very affirmative action, right?
Hmm, hmm.
But I may not always take time to dislike the content that I
Right,
disliked.
right, right, right.
But the intent is clear that I did not watch it, or maybe I did not come back to that content for a long time.
Hmm.
So just wanted to understand if those kind of signals are also playing a role in this recommendation engine.
I mean, see, I'm not very, sure of it, but yes, they keep it for that, those shows that we haven't watched, we haven't finished. They keep it. You might also like, but you have not completed that. If that shows is not completed, they will not show that kind of shows. That I'm sure of, right? But that's a good question. We'll ascertain that, because negative the in I would call it like direct measurement is very easier to understand, but what you are asking about is indirect measurement, like I haven't watched it, how they
Yeah,
deal with that data, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's more kind of a product manager, product side of the role, because it's linking to the preference of the user, right? We will give you a better answer,
Understood.
right?
Got it. I have another question if you have time for it.
Mhm.
So, for all these recommendation engines, it requires a lot of data for it to learn and how to recommend, right? For
Right.
any new system that you're building that has no data to fall back on, how does this recommendation engine work for the first few
We'll
thousand, few million users?
that again, the accuracy won't be that much high,
Okay.
right? Let's say data is all about, say let's say Instagram started just now, just today, right? So what they will start doing is they will start showing it, like whatever type of content you are glancing through or skimming through, or just going through it, they will kind of uh, try to adjust to that pattern. But let's say only two videos are there of that particular genre, correct? So they will be only able to show only two videos. Then next, what comes is the generic ones. But over the period of time, the more the data, the accuracy increases. But
Uh,
initially, the accuracy will not be there.
Yeah, I think here in this particular case, we always, at the first place, we don't go for recommendation. Whenever any startup starts, they don't go for the recommendation at the very first level, first day. They try to gather the information about their platform, what kind of customer they are fetching in. So according to that, they are finding out the bestseller. Before the recommendation, they go for the bestseller thing. And if the bestseller thing is proven correct, then according to the taste of the customer, by the time they get the more information, more data about the customer, then they start recommendation. So obviously in the first third stage, generally they what we call start the recommendation.
Right. I mean, very, very
I
fair
mean,
point.
may not be the correct flow, but yeah, this is my understanding and
The,
my experience, what I
this
have
is,
observed.
yeah, this is very nice. So, see, obviously, what you will do is, see, the moment we say that accuracy will be less, so you do not show something which is always has lesser accuracy, right? Why to show that? Why to? It's always a product call. What the business wants, right? If somebody is saying that, I mean, I'm not sure. One I know Yogesh question. I'm not sure. Deepika, were you? Okay. I think you answered it, right? Next time. The next.
I think Priyanka Bishwas did.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so so what happens is, I mean, it's always the product decisions. Understand this. When we say that likes of Myntra and other e-commerce, right? They started doing it very late, right? Because they were accumulating the preferences, tastes, and then the data, and then they started doing the recommendation, right? Which is a correct way and a product call, right? Now, there, so here models are being trained. If I go a bit uppish side, they're already trained models now. If I go to LLMs and etc., right, they're already trained. If they use directly, they already are trained in a vast majority of data, right? They already learned, they'll be able to predict and prescribe. So the landscape changes per the scenario in the market. But yes, both are correct. But this is highly feasible when you are new to the market. You don't show which is inaccurate and irate the customer, right? It's better not to have that feature and then put it across later, right? That's how I would want to put it as of now. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So let's go and understand the, like we were very eager in the last session itself, which was matrices versus KPIs, right? Any uh any anybody know what exactly matrices are and what KPIs are? Any, take a hint, take a guess. A wild one also will work. What are matrices and what are KPIs?
KPIs as it stands, it's a performance indicator. It could be anything. Whatever is your business goal, whatever is your North Star metric, we
Hmm.
can call that as a KPI. Whichever
Hmm.
your business wants to achieve as a target,
Hmm.
and your constant monitoring to that goal is a KPI.
Right. So let's understand this, right? Matrices, metrics, and KPIs. So metrics is metrics, KPI is key performance indicator. Okay. Now, metrics is basically, it can be any plethora of metrics, like, what is my revenue? What is my cost? What is my salary? I mean, what I'm giving to my employees. Then what is my COGS, cost of goods sold, and etc. These, anything can be a metrics, right? Whatever you can measure, it can be a metrics, right? And KPIs, which is the formula itself, I mean, the full form itself, it says key performance indicators. Now, there is a very famous, I mean, there is this quote which says all KPIs are metrics, but all metrics are not KPIs. Okay, digest this. So, as Yogesh also pointed it out, that KPIs are something which we want to, measure as a goal. Like, whether, let's say, I want to increase 5% other revenue, something, right? I want to increase the revenue. That is the North Star metric. North Star is basically your key KPI, right? The strategic goals that we have, right? Don't get bombarded with all this jargon. It's North Star is very product management specific role or very strategic way of saying that what is the main KPI for the company, right? So as in the slide, if you see, metrics are like, page views, how much time you have, you glance through the IntelliBridge site, right? How many of them booked the founders call that we have, uh, how much did, what percentage of that search page views, right? They couldn't convert into a call, or basically the bounce rate. That's the reverse of it, right? So these can be a KPIs. And KPIs can be anything. I'll give you a diagrammatical way as well, right? Uh, that will explain everything, but just at a high level, at large, understand this, right? Now, KPIs can be what percentage of those searches converts to booking rate, right? Like I have mentioned here, right? Uh, and then if it is like sales percentage, I want to increase the sales within this this quarter to 10%, right? So the sales percentage is now the KPI, right? The attrition rate, in some companies there are very high attrition rate. So uh, let's say I want to bring that down. That attrition percentage is my KPI. That this quarter I'm going to look at only to that particular KPI. That's my North Star. Folks, so good so far. So far, so good. Any feedback? I mean, any thumbs up, anything? Because this is going to, what about others? Okay.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted to tell that footnote that you have on the slide. That's like that's perfect. It's like nail in the coffin kind of statement.
Right.
The last line on the slide. Yeah.
Right. Right. So it's like, there is famous saying by Peter Drucker. If you know, what gets measured gets done, right? And that's how strategy works, and then how people folks, in any field, that's how the data helps. So that's at large what metrics and KPIs are. Okay. Remember, so here is another task that I'll give you. Okay, you have to do it for yourself. You can get it verified by me. Take any companies, any domain. I say, let's say SaaS. Like I have given example of a marketplace. Okay, so take any domain and try to find out what all KPIs they do have. Trust me, these are the things they will surely ask in domain interviews. Let's say you're going for a e-commerce platform interviews. So generally, that's like a marketplace at large. Let's not be specific, but at a large, it's marketplace. So they'll ask you what is traffic, how do you what is AOV, how do you track it? Give me they will give you a case study, and they will ask you what this is my North Star metrics, and how do you how will you measure it, and what data you require. Okay, just go through this slide. I'll just have a sip of water. Okay, and let me know if this is clear, because this is pretty much everybody understand it. So in this layer, if you see the traffic, majority is this is related to traffic, as in Mintra. Let's say how many users come to the platform. So here it is like bring users to the platform, right? Then let's say 100 folks came, how many got converted? Converted as in how many ordered, right? Then how many ordered, then the transaction KPIs, okay? And then what is my margin? Like how much I earned. So revenue transaction into average value into fee percentage minus cost is my margin. So marketplace, if you do not understand marketplace, they earn basically on the platform fees, right? When you order to Swiggy and Instamart, they have now added platform fees. They also earn from the brands when they place their products. They also earn from there. So you calculate revenue as in all those transactions and the average value and the fee percentage that they charge, and minus all the costs. That becomes your margin. Okay. Now again, margin, if you go into finance, margin again is is not your true margin. What I mean by that is, here you go margin minus subtraction your, there is something called as EBITDA, earning before interest and taxes. So this is EBITDA. Now your taxes and interest, if there is some loans or something is going on, so you deduct all that, and then at large at the end, what uh, is left out is your true margin. Okay, so this is what the whole marketplace looks like. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So that is okay. Similarly, I have given urban company case similar to that. I've just given two for you guys to, make just go through it, understand it, and try to come up with your own flow diagrams also, like how these things are captured. Okay. Then again, doc planner, three case studies I have given at a high level. Let me see, there is some message. Okay. So I'll take it, Samudra. One second. Huh? So this is the cases that I have given. Sorry. Okay. Now, okay, shall we take at the end, Samudra? If you are, if you spare some time at the end, will discuss that, because majority of the folks, not saying like that, but if it is okay with you, is it okay? Any thumbs up, any text, something? Okay. So, uh, now at the end, when we talk about all these cases and etc., right? Every industry, you name it. Earlier, it was like, the retail sector and the banking were very, very, very prominent to adapt. But now everybody, even the sports, nowadays, sports analytics is booming because of all these, in India especially. Uh, in foreign, it was there, but in India especially, this is booming. And uh, agriculture and government, every sector, you name it, you cannot, you know uh, just treat it as a two different sector. It's all one. Everything runs on data nowadays, right? So these are basically the job that didn't existed in 2020 2010, but now it's there, right? So you can be like, the few of you may be a product manager, but here data product manager came out after 2010 and 11. There was earlier also, but it was not in very much demand. But after data revolution, the big data and these things started coming up, right? Then data product manager. Now in 2024, AI consultant, prompt engineering, they are very prominent in market. Okay. Now this is very similar. Like, if somebody has any uh, do you understand this slide? If I want to, do you understand what data analyst is, what data scientist is, and AI consultant is? I'm not rushing. It might look like I'm rushing. I'm not rushing. I'm just, you know, saying, do you understand those terminologies? Okay. I think people are aware of it, so not a problem. Okay. Now, okay.
I think you can explain in bit.
Okay. So what happens is, data analyst, right? And there is BI intelligence also, BI consultant as well. One second, okay? Okay. Let me go to my board. Okay. Now let's understand the fields at last in data, right? Data fields. And few of you might get confused, but let's just be okay. Now there is this data engineering. Okay. Data analyst, there is data scientist, okay, there is data analyst, okay, there is here itself BI, okay, BI analyst, okay. It's more over these two converge, but there are separate role for BI intelligence and all those things, okay. Okay, so and there is AI, let's not call this as of now. Like, there are roles like business analyst, BA, then product owner, and other product managers and etc. Which basically, and then if we call it as, then now the role has evolved to AI consultant. Okay, once again, I think there is a message. Yes, yes, yes. I'll come to that. So in this structure, right? So let's say this will be talking a lot in session 2 also. I mean, session 2 PPT, but yeah, I'll talk about this data engineering. What it does, Let's say there is an application. Okay. All those clicks that you are doing, it is through it is, let's not call it, no, I don't want to bombard it with your APIs and all those things. Let's say that there is some pipe which comes to, databases. Okay, DB, which gets stored to DB. Okay. Now, how this pipeline will be built will be the role of data engineers. What they do is, for example, the data, what type of data is coming? Is it structured, unstructured, semi-unstructured? Based on that, they will create a pipeline. Let's say, for example, all the apps mostly, just a generic one. I'm just taking a semi-structured approach. They give data in JSON format. Okay. Now, JSON format, like you remember, last session I told, in JSON is a semi-structured data. Now you have to flatten it to store it in DBs in rows and columns manner, right? Now, what you will do is, it's a data engineer's job to flatten it, right? Make it in such a way that it is storable in DB, right? Understood? So at high level, this is what data engineers do. Now, when data is stored here, data analysts, okay, by the time, few of the tools that we use here is, DBT, Airflow, just to pull the data. Okay, just just the tools. Do not go in this trauma that, okay, I have to learn this tool and that tool. Let's just understand, by using these tools, they pull it to our DB. They transform. Okay, my board is, they transform it, flatten it, they load it, and then they save it into DB. Okay, once it is saved in DB, these data analysts, what they will do, they will uh, you know uh, fetch the data from the DB, because to work on the data analysts need data, right? So the DE teams gives support and the data that they needed to the data analyst. Now, with the help of SQL, right, Python, they, through SQL, they turn it, they fetch it, right? And with Python, they kind of, uh, analyze it. Okay, you can analyze in SQL also. It doesn't mean that only Python is required. If minimum analysis is there, not very large or something, you can do it in SQL also. But if, let's say, is very data is huge and you want to query and then you want to bring some model and all those stuff, then Python is there. Here, what they do is, mostly their work is to descriptive analysis. Mostly. Okay. Descriptive analysis, and bring out insights, which is like, and then take decision onto it. So they touch upon everything, but mostly descriptive, uh, part of prescribe also, right? Or diagnostic also, you can say. We'll touch upon all those things. I'm just giving you a high level. We'll touch upon in the next section also. Okay. Now, data scientists predominantly take the data from this DB itself, and they make models like these recommendation engines and all those things, right? Is work of data scientists at large. BI analyst is basically take the data, SQL, and, let's say, visualizations, the dashboards and all that, right, is the work of BI analyst. But it's partly done by analysts also. But few of the companies, they prefer, like, somebody who is very good in storytelling and data visualization. They created a new role altogether, BI analyst. Now, these are, we'll talk about, but let's leave as of now what all these are. Okay, but this is what predominantly it is. Okay, I think, Yogesh, you got the answer.
Yes, yes, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I think it's already, more of, it's more than 30 minutes. We should stop here. And I'll share the PPT because it's almost at the end. There is quiz and all. You can try it with later. But few of the things that I wanted to, if you have some time, um, I wanted to, yeah. So there is the one book that I am trying to come up with. Okay. And if at all, if you need any session, just wanting to have a feedback, like, do you need any session on Claude and prompt, like, generative AI prompting, how to do that? What stuff, what format do we need to follow? If you need it, we can take one session of like, proper 1.5 hours, 90 minutes on any Saturday or Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday, and then we can cover Claude 101 or prompting. Just let me know, later also. I'll be circulating that in group also. Okay. So that is there. Okay, okay. Okay. So I'll be sharing two things. I'll sharing the feedback form. Please fill it. I'll share it now also, and then in the uh, group. So okay, okay. I'll share it. Okay. That is there. Yeah, folks. I think Samudra has that margin question. I'll be with him. If you folks want to drop, you can drop. Not a problem. Bye. See you on Saturday. There will be an interesting session, and we'll be able to take a lot of questions on Sunday. Saturday, sorry. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll drop the feedback form. Please do fill that up, and that will be very useful for me. Thank you, and I'll be sharing the PPT as well. Thank you. Bye bye. Samudra, just be here. Okay. Yeah, folks. Folks, you can drop off. I'll be with them. Oh, if you want to be here, not a problem. Let me stop the recording.